On November 7th, 1997, in Sarasota, Florida, 13-year-old Stevie Belush came home and found a horrifying scene. That morning had started off normal, and by the end of the school day, Stevie rushed home to tell her mom some good news. And as she walked in the front door, the first thing she saw was her 4 younger siblings crying. The floors and walls were painted with blood. Her mother, 35-year-old Sheila Belush, lay dead on the floor in a pool of her own blood. And what's even worse is that her 2-year-old quadruplets were found wandering around the house, leaving tiny little footprints of her blood. When Stevie sees this, she begins crying uncontrollably and manages to call 911. Lead detectives Ron Alberton and Chris Lorio arrive to the scene immediately. This was by far the most baffling case they've ever seen. The garage held the first clues as to what happened. These investigators found a towel with gunshot residue and a hole in it. It's obvious that the killer tried to use this as a silencer, but the material must have jammed the gun at some point. Technicians dusted off the dryer, and thankfully they were able to find a solid fingerprint. The blood trail led to the kitchen, where a bloody knife was found on the floor. Piece by piece, the picture came together. It seems that since the gun jammed, the killer decided to resort to anything that was nearby, which in this case was the knife. In Sheila's last moments alive, she tried to grab the phone to call 911. Shayla Lane Walsh was born in 1962 in Topeka, Kansas. In 1982, at just 20 years old, she married a man named Alan Blackthorne. The couple had 2 daughters together, Stevie and Daryl. Alan Blackthorne was described as manipulative and abusive. Court records showed he was arrested in 1987 for assaulting Sheila, leaving her with a busted lip. Sheila's family would later say how he threatened her if she ever tried to leave him. Then, after 5 years of marriage, Sheila finally found the courage to file for divorce. They had a bitter divorce and custody battle. Police logs show numerous family disturbance calls during this time. Eventually, Sheila was awarded custody of their 2 daughters. She was also granted 20% ownership of Alan's multi-million-dollar company. When this was all done, Sheila felt like now it was time for her to move on with her life. She fell in love and married Jamie Belush. Soon after, in 1995, the couple welcomed quadruplets, 3 boys and 1 girl. But Alan Blackthorne wasn't done tormenting Sheila. He continued to harass her and refused to leave her alone.